So, Arnold gets replaced this time by an Irishman who doesn't remember what happened the night before. I think Colin Ferrel was a perfect cast for this. ... sQuiggs?
Tic-tac.
So he was here for that one we just did for Total Recall. Then we went out and watched the movie for Total Recall. Remakes the old one. Now, when we did the other one, I said it was a thriller sci-fi. Going to start off saying this one was an action sci-fi.
I will agree with you on the action sci-fi, I will. And this is where we disagree. So I know it's a remake, but I'm going to consider it a reboot.
Here's where because I can agree with you on parts that it does reboot and parts that it remakes. Because most of everything in this movie, as far as story goes, is actually, and backdrop, characters, whatnot, they're actually the same, so that's remake. But the fact that they dropped the whole thrill of this movie to me and put action in more so, it reboots.
But I suggest watching the other one first, because then you'll get, there's a few inside
Here's
jokes.
where we're going to disagree again. I'm going to say don't watch the other one first, because you might go in thinking that this is going to be more of a thriller like I did. The big difference is there's no Mars. The other one we said there was Mars, and that's kind of like the colony that they're going to. This one is just staying on Earth, and there's just two countries. One's the colony. It's just basically the slums in the future.
Exactly.
Otherwise, everything in the story is the same. Still got the Rekall. He sits in the chair. He thinks he's going to get implanted with this memory thing. Something goes wrong. Everything starts going the way that the memory chip was supposed to lead you.
And for you people who haven't even heard of Total Recall, well, whatever.
So if you haven't seen the old one, then most of this up to now review is useless to you. We'll leave the action thriller thing to the side for a second. The animation is much, much better.
The fact is, these people, when it comes to CGI and all that stuff, I think actors that have to act with that stuff, it brings you to a whole new level of acting, right? Well, the technology, right?
And the actors have come light years from being able to act against something that's either not there or whatever.
This is the one thing I hated though about it, with all these special effects. I mean, there's so much going on in these special effects, and then you want to go. It's becoming like this fad, or hopefully it's this fad, because everyone's doing it now. This huge camera shake and these weird camera angles.
Sometimes you don't have actual actors who can fight, so they have to do a shaky cam to be able to
make it look. And the word of the day is pretender. Pretender. Because sQuiggs, like Squiggs said, it's there to hide actors' inabilities to do certain things.
With that, let's go into the action.
It was nonstop, but at the same time, there was a few times I thought the movie was going to end, and I felt it was kind of long.
On your nonstop, though, is something I pointed out in the other one, was it's stop and go action. And again, like you said, I'll agree again, near the end, it's just, maybe it's because the two of us have seen the other movie or something, but near the end you're like, I know what's going to happen, or it's just, like, get on with it. That last act that comes into place, it's important for the story. Maybe as past viewers of the old movie, it's not for us, it's for the new generation that haven't seen the old movie. I don't know. So I'd like to see what someone else's opinion is who hasn't seen the old one. Acting, what do you think?
I thought it was decent.
I was going to say something about my weird saying acting.
Everyone that's watching it isn't East Coast. When in West Coasties, like this guy, says East Coast, you'll know what I'm trying to say about East Coast.
For the Canadians out there that watch this.
Yeah, that's true. I'm going to start with Kate Beckinsale. They definitely, they want to pack this movie with, good-looking women, because Kate Beckinsale is. The fact is, at the end of the movie, I failed to realize somehow that Len Wiseman.
What? Sorry, I lost y'all. I was just remembering Kate Beckinsale.
Well, yeah. I was like, of course she's in this movie. Her husband's directing. He likes to watch her make out with other people.
I think the thing is, though, she had an upper hand in the fight scenes because she's, been fighting off vampires and stuff, werewolves for 400 years. So she looks really good for 400,
right? How unfair is that?
Colin Ferrel. I like the fact that they recasted Arnold Schwarzenegger with someone who's really good at acting.
I thought, because you've seen him in Tigerland, and I'm only going to use that one as an example, although he's been in a lot of other movies, Colin Ferrel, But I mean, you know he's capable of fighting. He doesn't do tons, right? In that movie,
No, but
you know he's got it in him, right?
Alright, so we talked about Kate Beckinsale and her beauty. Now we go on to Jessica Biel.
In the last scene of the movie, it doesn't look like she has eyebrows. So it like took away from her performance for me. I'm like, what happened to her eyebrows? Did they get burned off in some fire? She's very good in the role as the supporting actress.
What I'm thinking is that her role as a character in the other movie was a little bit more instrumental, had a little bit more lines to it. This one, not as many lines, and she didn't. Her character didn't have to do as much. And the wife, which Kate Beckinsale plays now, was the supporting actress role. On to rating.
I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5.
3 out of 5. 6.5 out of 10.
Gravitational pulse.
And I still failed to get you some popcorn. So
Sorry,
I'm quickly going to say on to
reverse
picture
gravity.
view.